The S&P 500, the Nasdaq 100 primary discussions here in the video today. Now, obviously, this week we have a lot going on. The biggest thing is going to be FOMC coming in Wednesday with the rate decision. I have a clear opinion on that. Now, overall, the expectations from this weekend have kind of started to play out here. Now, when we look here at the chart, we're looking at the Dow right now, which the Dow is obviously the strongest area of the market. You can see we're breaking local highs. You go to the daily time frame, new 52-week highs going all the way back to, last February. You're dangerously close to breaking all-time highs here on the Dow, which we kind of anticipated this might be the first one to go because it's had the most strength since last October. It took a little bit of time to get the breakout again, but you're getting it. So Dow getting a lot of love here. And you're going to notice a little bit of a trend. Now we go to ES, and we posted this on Twitter this morning so you could see on the daily time frame a clear bull flag here on the daily trying to break out over this. You get to something like the 2, the 4 hour. I think you're already getting signs of a breakout happening here. As you can see here at the end of the day, a little bump and run action bouncing off that trend, pushing back up. But I will say you're below the 45.90 range, and we'll talk a little bit more about that here in a second. Nasdaq, definitely the biggest pullback here. Now, I'm going to give you my opinion here. If you've been following me on Twitter, you've been following me on the YouTube video, you've been saying that clearly we want to see a bounce at this 15.47 range. You zoom out here, it's your highs from this past and previous run up that we had. We broke up, right? We had that ascending triangle. We broke up, previous highs there. You go back even further to something like the daily. You go all the way back, and we can see kind of where these levels, play out, right? Where these levels are clearly showing importance, right? So you can see again this 15.48. It was those swing lows that we had in that range before we tested all-time highs last time, right? Rejection here, we broke above all-time highs. This was back in 2021. We bounced and bounced and bounced, and then when we lost this, ultimately, this is when the market, really got its legs kicked in, right? And so we can see this is a very important level where we're at. And so my whole mentality was wait to start buying until we get to this level and then see the reaction. Now, a few more things need to play out, and I need to see a little bit more. But again, my main concern is not going to be rates this week. I believe we're going to get a 0.25 hike, although I don't think we need to. But right now, this is about rates. Just clearly get this over with. I think there's more upside possibility than there is downside with rates. What does that mean? If they hike 0.25, I don't think we are going to flush 1,000 points. We could. I just don't think it's going to happen because it's been said so much and the probability is so high that they're going to raise. If they pause, I think the upside 100% outweighs the downside. So that being said, if they pause, I think you almost instantaneously get a rip to new highs, local highs. But I also want to say here, this level right here, this 15.5 range, 15.5 then 15.7, these were levels that we said, if we hold these levels, all-time highs, easy money, right? And so far, you're getting the retest, you're trying to push up. So those are areas that I like right now. Now, a little bit more, got to ask you to do two things because they're liking and subscribing. I kind of hate this part of the video, but I have to do it because we need subscribers here on the channel. Obviously, I try to give them as free information, free content as possible. I'll go into that here in a second. But the Discord link is also down below if you do want to check us out on our website. You can see everything that kind of comes into this. I really say if you're a beginning trader, don't sign up for Discord because we have all the free education in our course online for free. You don't have to pay to learn that aspect of it. But this is more for people that want to be surrounded by other traders to kind of bounce ideas off of. Also see how we're trading and why we're trading as well. But like I said with the free content, this morning I went off and I posted this on Twitter. You can see the time frame here, 9:13 a.m. I said great reaction on Tesla out of demand right here on the 4-hour and 2-hour chart down here, bouncing clearly out of that. Now from that, I entered a trade this morning. Tesla finding buyers easy today. Look on the lookout for the retest of 267.5. You had a bull flag mounting the 90 EMA pushing up. If you traded Tesla at all today, you ended up running just absolutely crazy. A few winners in Discord just from the day, so I have to go and look for it. We had someone up 20% on their account, 1,000. Really good day overall. So people made money. Congratulations, happy for everyone. So that's just a little bit of a visual of what we do, how we do it. But like I said, a lot of this information I try to push out there for free for you guys as well. And if you were in the live stream, which we're live here every single day, then you caught it as well. But I also want to say one more thing. Going forward, congratulations, we got unbanned on Twitter, so I can officially get back on my phone. Awesome. I will be doing a space call an hour after I post my video every single day, Monday through Friday. So that will most likely be around 6 p.m. 6:30 p.m. Central Time. So be on the lookout. All you have to do is follow us. Clearly, the link is down below again, and you'll automatically be able to get into that. It will not be replayable, but it will be there every single day. I'll be answering questions. And again, like I said, I want to be able to have as much free content as possible and clarify anything. So again, another opportunity for free to learn. I'm giving away about another 30, 45 minutes of my day. So again, take advantage. Now, in Q, what are we looking for? Now, I think it's really clear. We look at earnings. We have a lot of earnings this week. Really heats up tomorrow. You know, tomorrow morning we have 3M. I think that's a big one we need to be watching out for. We'll talk about it later in the video. But, you know, Google, Snap, Microsoft, Tuesdays, like, you know, fireworks are going to start, right? So we got to be paying attention really closely to those. Wednesday, Meta, you know, Boeing in the morning, you know, it's, again, heating up. So I'm definitely excited. There's a lot of things here that are, and I think maybe the tipping point in the market can create a little bit more of a spark to push it into all-time highs. But that being said, if things go really bad, it could get ugly as well. So I'm totally aware of kind of how we're moving here. Now, going back into the chart, I think it couldn't come at a more pivotal point. Now, I want to show you really quickly some of the volume that's taking place on this. So people that are like, oh, we're reversing. Again, I like to use everything as a teaching moment so we can kind of get a visual and a better understanding of, you know, why I take certain trades and why I expect certain things to happen. And I think a lot of it is kind of predictable when it comes to doing chart analysis and a little bit of fundamentals. But we're seeing the same thing. On this whole decline, I mean, you've been declining on just piss poor minimal volume. Really bad volume for the past like week and a half, give or take. Okay? So when we're pulling down like this, it's really not concerning for me. And then ES, even more than that, you're just consolidating, bull flagging at highs, right? So when we look at that visual of it, it looks like we're just getting a sector rotation from maybe really heavy tech names into healthcare, into energy, and under other areas of the market, right? And I'll talk more about energy at the end, later on in the video, because that could be an issue with inflation. That's more down the line. But when we look at this, you know, that's my overall visual, is that we're seeing, you know, SPY and tech slow down, and then we go over to, you know, something like Dow or DIA if you trade the ETF, you know, going up in a straight line, which again points to the, you know, statement of healthcare, which UNH we called it down here again. At that major level, you went straight up and you have another ascending triangle. In particular, XLV, the healthcare sector, going straight up, right? So you're seeing again that bit of a rotation. XLE as well, you can obviously energy pushing up also. So I encourage us to just, again, when we're getting these pullbacks, don't just say, okay, we're pulling back, this is bad, the market's ready to dump. But take a step back, maybe don't take trades, but identify what's actually happening in the market. Because when you're that guy that just jumps to conclusions, typically you're going to lose money. I've been that guy, right? You know, that's the whole point of what I'm trying to do here, is because I've been that guy, so I know kind of what takes place and what's been happening and kind of what to expect with some of these moves that we've been getting. Now, if we see all of them pulling down across the board, then we probably have an issue. But that's kind of what's been happening. Nasdaq, tech, pulling back with low volume, and then we look at, you know, Dow, healthcare, some of these other areas that weren't getting as much love in the past few weeks, bumping up again, like we saw like the previous month. So again, things I'm looking at in particular here. Now, into some names, I do want to spend a bulk of this video going over names and how they're reacting. So Tesla in particular, I told you guys last week when Tesla was dumping like this, it was a great opportunity. And you know, again, if you're a fan of the channel, you've been here for any time, you hear me say the word opportunity all the time. I'm always saying it because people are always like, okay, I missed that play. Well, what do I do now? Do I get in at highs? What do I do? And the strategy is never to just continue to jump into another play, right? I don't just want to be buying and grabbing. I want to be pretty conservative, or I want to be kind of picky about what I do with my trades, right? I want to be able to maneuver how I see fit and never really go to bed or, you know, get off the trading day closes and I'm stressed, right? That's not really a trader. That sounds more like a gambler. Like if we really think about it, when a gambler, you know, the dealer deals, they start sweating, they get stressed out every single time because they're gambling. It's completely risky. I'm not saying there's no risk when it comes to trading, but when you get these type of opportunities, it really sets up nice. Like in particular, I'll show you guys what I started to enter. And I did get one trade and I just got stopped out, but I'm going to, and the stop played out really well on Apple. So I had this one, I lost about $500. So it was tough, but whatever. Not like really, you guys have seen the gains over the past few weeks, but I'm kind of like, I've kind of been really picky on myself. I'm like, I'm striving for perfection for my own trading and just giving you guys a little bit of a visual. So I ended up going into Tesla dated calls for January 17th, 2025. And I keep saying like dated positions are your best friend right now. And I firmly believe that. So when I'm looking at something like these names that I think are undervalued, like Google, Amazon, Tesla, there's a laundry list of these names, but those are the ones off the top of my head. And when I say undervalued, I just say in comparison to the way the rest of the market in tech is moving. Tesla has like 40% just to get back into all-time highs. I'm not saying you're going to go to all-time highs tomorrow, but I'm saying I think it has a lot of room. Just like when we were buying it down here at 150, we bought it right after Amazon's earnings. If you remember, you can go watch the video. Last Amazon earnings, go watch the video that I posted. Recommend doing so. But we pushed out, we broke. It was awesome. Good run. But I still believe there's a lot of room to run, especially after Tesla's last earnings call. And like when we go through this list, you just continue to see names I think that are looking interesting and definitely have the sign of, well, I think there's still a lot of money to be made there. Leaps on Google. I mean, I'm not in one right now. I closed my position out at the 126 push. I had to get out. But I mean, you're still getting great movement, right? You're definitely closer to all-time highs on Google than something like Tesla, but still, we look at names like Microsoft, which are all obviously at all-time highs, looking very strong. Apple, which I still love. But again, I see this as the opportunity like mode for myself. And so my favorite plays right now, I'm going to tell you guys moving forward over the next few weeks. I think my favorite plays are going to be Tesla, which obviously I already got, but those are really dated. They might be a little bit too expensive for some guys, but I'm swinging those. I'm not interested in making 10, 20% of those. Those are going to be holds for me, right? Slowly entering, but those are long-term holds. And I'll post the gains and losses on Twitter. And then number 2 is going to be Apple. And I did a long spillover on this over the weekend. And I just want to say, and this was all on Twitter where I posted this, so you can go check it out. But I firmly believe you're getting a major opportunity with Apple. If you look back over the years, in particular like the monthly, if you pinpoint every single time Apple releases a new product, the last one, obviously, or the last big one was like the AirPods, right? I firmly believe you see instant value added to the company, just time and time again. I mean, if you look here at the monthly, it's like a monthly bull flag, to be honest, which is actually crazy. Me and Jay talk about this all the time. That's actually bizarre to look at. But I want you to just identify different areas of the market that you might see as value opportunity or somewhere where you think that you're getting a deal. We shouldn't be looking at the market from this visual of, okay, I need to make money today. That's it. Tomorrow doesn't matter. Because when you have that identity or that visual in the market, it's going to create issues time and time again. And I'm saying this because people continue to look at the market from this bearish lens, and we don't look at it for what it's really doing right now, right? Monthly charts is absolutely gorgeous, right? There's no way around it. 4-hour chart, clear higher lows still being established. You look really good. Points right back to that retest there as well. That's why I think I've been able to succeed here. And from a humble perspective, I identify my weaknesses and my strengths, like I posted earlier, and I try to hone in and trade based on my strengths. And as of lately, being patient, being diligent in what we do and identifying what's working has paid off tenfold. So I encourage you guys to just take a step back and just watch how this is playing out. And even if you miss a trade, journal what's happening and how you're viewing what's going on in the market. Because again, on our website, you can go over to home and look at the education, and we have all this education here. But the biggest thing with the education and the reason why I don't want to have a course is because the problem with trading is people interpret things differently. And so I really think, and something Jay and I say all the time, is time in the market beats time out of the market. So when you're just doing this nonstop and you're identifying the trend and you're watching what's happening, you're just filling your head with the data that's kind of happening in the market and why it's happening, you're making yourself better over time and you're understanding different things that will happen down the road. So I really encourage you guys to really start putting forth that effort with what's happening in this market, especially if you're not even trading. If you're not trading, it's like a better opportunity to really do that, because I believe when you don't have more money in the market, it's a little bit easier to learn with what you're doing, or at least pay more attention, because you're not as affected by the emotions that come with trading. But again, if you're trading, which most of you probably are, again, identify what's happening or what's going wrong. Like, please, that's the biggest thing. And again, like another thing that I want to harp on too, and I can, and this is more of like a rant video, so I'm sorry, but you know, I encourage you guys, journal, and just giving you like a for instance in what's happening and kind of what can like change with why you trade and understanding what might have gone wrong with your strategy is AWOL was leaning more bearish here on the trade. You can like pause this and read this if you want, but then he looked at kind of what we were looking at with the higher lows on Tesla, volume, and then ended up making money on what was happening with the day in the trade, right? So he just kind of pivoted. He got rid of those emotional thoughts of what was happening or just random thoughts, right? And then pivoted towards what was actually happening, looking at his charts, looking at what's actually happening there in the video as well. And so he kind of pivoted into calls, even though his kind of longer viewpoint expected a little bit of downside because what was right in front of him, right? So you have to identify the difference between long-term trading and short-term. And he was able to profit off that, you know, also it was posted in Discord. So giving that visual, and again, these stories happen time and time again. So I can only encourage you guys, you're going to get what you put in with anything in life. Even if you're not in my Discord, or you're in someone else's Discord, or you're on your own, right? I think on your own is kind of a tough route to go, but I'm going to tell you, you got to continue putting in the work. And you got to continue, even on those bad days, to understand what went wrong. Because usually those bad days teach us the most. You've seen it here on the channel. See you guys tomorrow. Have a good one, traders.